Once again, good afternoon to all of you. In the morning session, we have seen how to take input dynamically to a Java program. That is, one way is through command prompt, another way is through scanner classes. Scanner classes. Okay, if I want to make compiling, if I want to make a compilation or compiling of a Java program, first I require a Java environment. I require a Java environment. For this, I need to install Java Software Kit. It internally contains JDK and JRE, JDK and JRE. And after successful installation of JSK, then you need to make a compilation process. After writing the code, you need to make compilation process. So to make compilation process, you have to set the path, right? To make compilation process, you have to set the path. Set the path. So to set the path, I have already explained the reason there. To set the path, you can set it in two ways. One way is temporary setting of path. Temporary setting of path that we are going to set in the command prompt. Another way is you can set it permanently through environmental variables. Through environmental variables. Okay. Now let me show my desktop is visible or not. This entire thing is visible, right? Yes. Okay. Thank you. So let me open command prompt. Command prompt. Okay, guys. I have opened my command prompt. Yes. If I try to write like if I'm trying to check some kind of command by using some kind of command, whether path is set or not, it is showing that path is not set. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to set space path equal to, I'm going to copy the path. So which I'm already there in that same location, C program files, Java, JDK, and that folder, I'm going to paste, and then I have set my path. If I try to check, Java C, yes, it is showing successfully compiled. I mean, we set the path to that corresponding environment. Okay. Now, once again, if I close, and once again, if I open, if I try to write like Java C, again it is showing that Java C is not recognized as internal or external command, meaning that the operating system can't able to understood what is the meaning of this command Java C. So to make the operating system has to understood, we are going to set space path equal to this one, right? So the problem here is once you close the command prompt, and the corresponding path will be deleted from the system variables. Instead of that, if I don't want to make setting the path every time, then we go for the second method. That is environmental variables. Okay. So where you observe these environmental variables means, go to my computer, just right click and click on properties. Click on properties and go for advanced settings. See here you observe environmental variables. Click on environmental variables. In that two types of variables are there: user variables or system variables. User variables means for a particular user only, meaning that for IIITS user only. I mean my system name is IIITS. For this user only it is applicable. If I want to apply for whole over users, all users of my system, then I will go for setting the system variables. Now in your system, there is a chance, there is a check in system variables. You will have two options. One is variable, another one is value. Just check in the left side, is there any path or not? If there exists a path, There exists a path, then just select and click on edit. Select and click on it. For example, let us assume that there is no path. Then click on new. Click on new, and then you have to write here as path, and you have to copy this location. Sorry. See program files. It's not Adobe. It's Java JDK bin. Okay, fine. I need to paste like this, and I need to make a semicolon. To make semicolon, guys. Then click on OK. Then automatically that corresponding class path will be set. So that every time you need to set the path for your while compiling a Java program. Okay, I'm clicking on cancel because I have already a path variable is there. Then I will go for click on edit. Why I got this already means in my system I have already installed Oracle software also. So Python software. Because of this all I have XAMPP. Because of all these I already set my path. Okay. Now if you observe, there is no path regarding this one. There is no path like local disk C, program file, Java, JDK, bin. That kind of setting is not observed. You won't observe here. So that is the reason I need to set the path every time in command prompt. Now what I will do is I will go for as that path is not exist here. I will go for click new, and I'm going to paste that entire thing. Paste entire thing and press enter. Press enter. Click on OK. Click on OK. Click on OK. That's it. Now I will close my command prompt. Close my command prompt, and I will open my command prompt once again. Yes. See, just check whether it exists or not. Right? That's it. This is the second way. I mean, this is the permanent way to set path for your Java program. To set path for your Java program. Okay, fine. Yes. So make use of the second process so that you don't need to set path for every time. Okay, fine. Now let's see one more concept. One more concept, that is typecasting. Typecasting. Okay, sir. In the already previous classes, you already listened this word. Okay, where you observe this one in the concept of wrapper classes. In the concept of wrapper classes. What do you mean wrapper class? Wrapper class is a predefined class which is meant for, which was developed for predefined data types. Meaning that for each and every predefined data type, there exists a predefined class. That class we call it as wrapper classes. What is the purpose of these wrapper classes? To convert a string data type to integer, or string data type to float, string data type to double, string data type to byte, string data type to long, etc. For all these processes, meaning that to convert from string class to string data type to all the remaining format, we will use various kind of wrapper classes. This is also one kind of typecasting. Okay, fine. Now here also typecasting. Both are having same meaning. Let me complete first. Typecasting. Typecasting means meaning that it is simple process to convert from one data type to another data type. One data type to another data type. So what is the need of converting from one data type to another data type? Because see guys, there is some expression there is some kind of function. This function will return some value. This function will return some value in the form of integer. Okay. In Java, we'll call it as methods only. Function called integer. Now, I don't want to require integer values. I don't want to require integer values. I want to store it in the form of byte. Store it in the form of byte. Then we must and should have to typecast this. We must and should have to typecast this by using byte data type. Am I right or not? So that is where we are going to use typecasting. Okay, fine. Now, for example, I am writing something like float f equal to 10. Float f equal to 10, and I am writing like system.out.println of f. What is the output you will get?
సార్ అక్కడ ఎఫ్ పెట్టాలి కదా, 10 పక్కన.
Yes, yes. Okay. You'll get yeah. What is the output you will get? Can anybody answer?
10.0000.
Yes, very good. 10.0. 10.0. You didn't added the value 0. You didn't added the 10.0. You have given only 10f, but even though you are giving 10f, you are getting the output as 10.00. Who has given this output? Who has appended this value 0? Compiler has added. Meaning that internally there exists some conversion process or not. Internally there has happened some conversion process. Done by whom? Compiler. Done by whom? Compiler. Who has compiled? Compiler. Automatically or manually? Compiler did it automatically. Automatically. Then this kind of conversion we'll call it as type conversion. Type conversion, or we'll call it as implicit conversion. Implicit conversion, meaning that these both are having same meaning. Type conversion means, or implicit conversion means, converting automatically from one format to another format. Automatically from one format to another format, and which is done by whom? Compiler. If compiler will convert data from one format to another format, then we'll call it as implicit conversion. Implicit conversion. For example, let me give some example like int x equal to a. Int x equal to a, and I am going to write system.out.println of x. What the answer you will get? ASCII value. Very good. ASCII value. Guys, here you involved or compiler involved? While converting, here compiler involved. While converting, compiler involved, then we can call it as this is implicit conversion or automatic conversion. Automatic conversion. This one we call it as type conversion. Type conversion. I mean, so generally, if you take any kind of typecasting, it is of two types. It is of two types. One is implicit typecasting. Another one is explicit typecasting. Explicit typecasting. Implicit typecasting we can call it as type conversion also. Type conversion also. టైప్ కాస్టింగ్ అంటే ఐడియా ఉందా? మొబైల్ నుంచి సిస్టంలోకి క్యాస్ట్ చేస్తున్నామంటారు, లేదా మొబైల్ నుంచి లేటెస్ట్గా వచ్చిన టీవీస్లో క్యాస్ట్ చేస్తున్నామంటారు. దట్ రిప్రజెంట్స్ కాస్టింగ్. కన్వర్టింగ్ మొబైల్లో సపోర్ట్ చేసే ఫార్మాట్ని సిస్టంలో కన్వర్ట్ చేయడం, వేయడం. సో దాన్ని ఏమంటే వీ కెన్ కాల్ ఇట్ ఎక్స్ప్లిసిట్ టైప్ కాస్టింగ్. సో ఇన్ ఎక్స్ప్లిసిట్ టైప్ కాస్టింగ్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డూ manually, but whereas in coming to implicit type conversing, compiler will do conversion from one format to another format. Okay, fine. So ఇప్పుడు నేను కంపైలర్ కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తుంది అంటే then let me have some example. ఇప్పుడు మీ ఒక హౌస్ ఉంది. there is a one house name A. ఈ హౌస్ లో నుంచి మనీ తీసుకొని వెళ్తున్నాను నేను. ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ సమ్ మనీ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ హౌస్ టు అనదర్ హౌస్ B. Let us assume that this house is a big house. This house is a big house. Can I able to place this amount in this house or not? Able to place this amount in this house or not? Yes. I can able to sufficiently place here. I can able to sufficiently place here. For example, that same house contains some money, full of money, and I am going to place in a house called C, which is having small space compared to A. Now what will happen? I am trying to set the amount of space which is available in C, and I will take out the remaining money. I will take out the remaining money and I will place it in my pocket. I will place it in my pocket. Now what will happen? My money is lost. The actual owner, capital something like J. The actual owner is J. J money is lost in this situation. J money is lost in this situation. Whereas coming to this situation, there is no loss of money. There is no loss of money. Okay, fine. The same concept will apply here. In implicit typecasting, who are performing the operation? Compiler is performing operation. When compiler is performing operation, if there is a loss of data, are you okay with loss of data? నువ్వు ఒప్పుకుంటావా లాస్ ఆఫ్ డేటా అయితే? కంపైలర్ ఎవరో తప్పు చేసినప్పుడు నువ్వు ఒప్పుకుంటావా? No, I won't accept for loss of data. Meaning that whenever compiler is performing some kind of conversion, there is no loss of data. There is no loss of data. Why there is no loss of data? Because see, observe here, I have given some examples. Here int x equal to a. Int x equal to a. Integer data type occupies how many bytes of memory? 4 bytes of memory in Java. Okay, am I right or not? What about this character? Character occupies how many bytes of memory? 1 byte of memory or not? Yes. 1 byte of memory. Can I able to sufficiently place in this 4 bytes of memory or not? Yes. Yes. When a small amount of memory, if I am able to place in a large amount of memory space, there is no problem of loss. There is no problem of loss. Similarly, take out here some like for example, I am taking short s equal to some 10 value, and I am trying to write int num equal to s. Int num equal to s. Guys, tell me, is this valid or not? Or we need to convert it explicitly? Need to respond. See, here the short data type is occupying how many bytes of memory? 2 bytes of memory. Integer type occupying how many bytes of memory? 4 bytes of memory. 4 bytes of memory, right? 2 bytes of memory. 2 bytes of memory. Can I able to place in 4 bytes of memory or not? Yes. If I am able to place 2 bytes of memory in 4 bytes of memory, is there any loss? There is no loss of data. There is no loss of data. Then directly compiler will involve in this process to convert from lower level data type to higher level data type, higher occupying memory space data type. Okay, sorry, I think somewhere okay, see here, boolean occupying 1 bit, character 2 bytes, byte 1 byte, short 2 bytes, int 4 bytes, long 8 bytes, float 4 bytes, and double 8 bytes. Okay. Now, like for example, let me take one more example. Float f equal to 0.5 f, double d equal to f. Is there any problem? There is no problem. Automatically compiler will involve in this conversion process, because float requires only 4 bytes of memory, double requires 8 bytes of memory. So obviously 4 bytes of memory, I can able to allocate in 8 bytes of memory directly without any loss of data. That's the reason I am saying that in implicit type conversion, there is no loss of data. Because of no loss of data, automatically compiler will convert from one format to another format. Meaning that smaller values can able to place in bigger memory locations. Meaning that keeping small values in a big values, small values in bigger memory locations, we can call it as widening. Or simply we can call it as upcasting. Meaning that while upcasting, there is no loss of data. Or there is no loss of information. So as there is no loss of information, we won't bother about anything. Automatically compiler will convert. Okay. Coming to second type of casting. Second type, that is explicit type casting. Here programmer need to involve because for example, let me take int x equal to some 535. I am trying to store in a data type called byte whose variable is b equal to x. Okay. Now will you get an error or not? Yes, you will get an error because int data type requires 4 bytes of memory. Byte data type require 8 bits or 1 byte of memory, right? 4 bytes of memory I cannot able to place in 1 byte of memory. So that is the reason compiler will provide always error when you are performing this kind of task. So at the situation, you need to involve and you need to handle that kind of error by performing explicit typecasting operation. Okay. So in implicit typecasting, I can able to convert from byte to short directly. There is no problem. Short to int I can able to convert directly. Int to long I can able to convert directly. Long to float I can able to convert directly. And float to double I can able to convert directly. Similarly, character to int also I can able to convert directly. Meaning that if you are moving from left to right, there is no problem of conversion. Meaning that it is short 1 byte, byte 1 byte, short 2 bytes, character 2 bytes, int 4 bytes, long, and so on, right? So if you move from left to right, there is no problem. But coming to the concept of explicit typecasting, what will happen is you are trying to allocate a short data type to byte data type, or you are trying to allocate into data type to short data type, or you are trying to allocate into data type to char data type, or a long data type to int data type, or a float data type to long, or a double data type to float data type. In these all situations, you are going to get an error because int data type requires 4 bytes of memory, short data requires 2 bytes of memory, byte data requires 1 byte of memory. 4 bytes of memory I cannot able to place in 2 bytes of memory. 2 bytes of memory I cannot able to place in 1 byte of memory. That is where you are going to lose your data, right? In the starting of the class, I have explained here. Yes, in A house, I can able to accommodate 100 rupees. In C house, I can able to accommodate 50 rupees. Okay, then what about remaining 50 rupees? I cannot able to accommodate. Then I may lose that 50 rupees amount of data because the middle person can be able to stolen that data, stolen that amount. Okay, so that is where you are going to uh, lose the data while converting from while doing in explicit typecasting. Okay, for example, let me take one example as I have taken here itself. Int x equal to 535. X equal to 535. I want to convert it to byte format. Byte b equal to x. B equal to x. Okay, fine. So before that, what will happen here? Here you will get an error. It will get an error because int data requires 4 bytes, byte data requires 1 byte of memory. Okay, let's see what is the answer we'll get. Okay, fine. So let me go for command. Typecasting. I am going to say. Is there any need of util package here? No need. Okay, I am saving. Control S, Control V dot Java. I have saved with this one and okay. Let me perform first implicit typecasting. In implicit typecasting, I am taking like int x equal to some value like a, and system.out.println of I'm printing only a value. There is no problem. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to take float f equal to 10. Float f equal to 10. I'm performing print of f. Let me compile this. One minute. Okay, now it is working perfectly because we have already set the right. Yes. Now what I'm going to write, I have to go for that location. E colon cd space csc bc. Now Java C space some name. Okay, oh, sorry. This file name is f typecasting. I'm copying paste dot Java. Hope there are no errors. Cannot find the symbol A. Okay, sorry. Here you need to pass X. I am trying to print the value of X, right? Yes. Compile it successfully. Okay. Fine. See here what happened. What happened? Even though I have given the input as a character, internally compiler will involve because it is implicit. No need of any human involvement. Implicit, it is converted to 97 ASCII value. Similarly, I have given float f equal to 10. Float f equal to 10. Implicitly it converted to 10.0. Who has involved? Automatically compiler has involved. That is the reason I am saying that is implicit conversion. Right? So 1 byte of memory I can able to allocate in 2 bytes, right? So that is the reason it is implicit conversion. There is no error. Let me check int something like j equal to 535 integer. I'm trying to convert into byte b equal to j. Byte b equal to j. Guys, now you will get definitely wrong answer. I mean, you will get definitely compiler error because see because incompatible types, possibly lossy conversion, right? Just check. అదే కదా చెప్పింది, lossy conversion from int to data type, int to byte. Whereas coming to implicit, there is no loss. Whereas coming to here, there is a loss of information. So that is the reason you need to convert it explicitly. You need to convert it explicitly to the corresponding format. The syntax is, while converting from one format to some higher level data type to lower level data type, you have to prefix with the corresponding data type. Prefix with corresponding data. Like if it is triple x, some variable name equal to triple x of some data type. This is the corresponding syntax to perform explicit type conversion. Okay. So in explicit type conversion, you are trying to store large values in smaller locations, so this process we can call it as narrowing or downcasting. So while performing downcasting or narrowing, you may get loss of data. Yes, okay. Let me execute this one. Can anybody guess the answer? What is the answer you will get? What is the answer? What's the answer you will get? Let me compile first. There is no error. There is no error. I will go for compile. I will go for run. You got okay. I didn't print, right? Type conversion. Need to append using command plus symbol. Compile. Run. Type conversion. Oh, I need to change the value. This is plus b. Check. What is the answer you got? You got 23. Can anybody guess how you got 23? Give that example. Okay. See here, what happened? So once you initialized a value 535 to integer variable, it is going to allocate some kind of memory space for this. How much? 4 bytes of memory space. 4 bytes of memory space. 4 bytes means 4 into 8, 32 bits of memory space. 32 bytes of memory space. 32 bytes of memory space. In this 32 bytes of memory space, how it is going to store? It is going to store in the form of binary numbers. How we are going to convert decimal number to binary number? Can anybody guess? You have to say directly answer. 2 2s are 4, 2 6s are 12, 2 7s are 14, 1. 2 1s are 2 3s are 2 3s are 1. 2 6s are 2 6s are 1. 2 3s are 6. Okay. 2 1s are 2 1. 2 zeros 1. If you write like this, you will get the answer as 0 1 1 0 1 1. In DLD, you already know this one. Okay, I mean 535 I can write like this. Am I right? 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 square, 2 cube, 2 power 4, 2 power 5. Is it correct? 2 6 are 12. This is also 2 6 are 12. 2 6s are 12. 2 33s are 0. 2 1s are 2. 2 6s are 12. 1. 2 8s are 16. 0. 2 4s are 8. 0. 2 2s are 4. 0. 2 1s are 2. 0. 2 zeros 1 1. So now from bottom to top you have to write like this. Okay. Now I will write like this from bottom to top: 0 1 4 zeros 1 0 triple 1. This is 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 square, 2 cube, 2 power 4, 2 power 5, 2 power 6, 2 power 7, 2 power 8, 2 power 9. What is the value of 2 power 9? 2 power 9 is 5 and 2. 5 and 2 and 2 power 4 16. 2 square 4 2 1. So 7 plus 16 23. 5 and 2 plus 23 535. So this is where, and what about the remaining digits? All are zeros. How many zeros? Total 32 bits. Total 32 bits. Among these, 10 bits I got. 10 bits I got. Remaining all are zeros. Remaining all are zeros. Okay. Now what we are doing here? Now what we are doing here? We are trying to convert that x integer value into byte format, meaning that we are explicitly defining to our compiler that please convert this amount of memory data to byte data. Byte data how much amount of memory space required? Only 1 byte. 1 byte means 8 bits. So from right to left, it is going to take only 8 bits. From right to left, it is going to take 8 bits. 8 bits means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Meaning that it is going to consider these only 8 bits. So these 8 bits. Now calculate 000 10 111. Calculate. You will get the answer as 23. This is 2 power 4, 2 square, 2 power 1, 2 power 0. So you will get the answer 23. Okay. So you will get the answer as 23. That is the reason you got the answer as 23. Okay, fine. Similarly, let me take one more example. For example, I am having some data int y equal to, let me take 663. I want to convert into byte b equal to y. Obviously, you will get an error because in data type requires 4 bytes. Here it requires only 1 byte. 1 byte. So obviously you'll get it. So to overcome this, we are going to typecast byte b equal to byte of y. Byte of y. And then what it's going to do? It is going to convert. First, it is going to get 32 bytes of memory space. 32 bits of memory space. And for 663, it is going to place something like this. So I will directly write. It is something like 512 I can write. 512 I can write, and then 124 can I write? If I write 124, it will be more number. 600 and okay. Okay, let me go for calculation. 2 3s are 2 3s are 2 1s are 2 1. 2 1s are 2 6s are 2 5s are 1. 2 8s are 2 2s are 1. 2 4s are 2 1s are 0. 2 2s are 1. Sorry, 2 2s are 4. 20s are 1. 2 10s 0. 2 5s 0. 2 2s are 1. So for remaining again, if you solve, 2 1s are 2 0. Right from bottom to top, you will get the answer as 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 1 1. 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 square, 2 cube, 2 power 4, 2 power 5, 2 power 6, 2 power 7, 2 power 8, 2 power 9. 2 power 9 is 5 and 2. 2 power 7, 128. 128. 2 power 4, 16. This is entire thing is 7. 8 to 10. 10 plus 13. 23. 23, right? Yes, 336, 663 answer. So we got the correct answer while after converting into binary format. What about remaining bits? All remaining bits will be zeros. All remaining bits will be zeros. Now in the next step, what we are saying, we are explicitly specifying that please convert it into byte format. Byte format requires how many bits? Only it requires 8 bits. Only it requires 8 bits. That is from here to here. Here to here, meaning that it will come from here to here. What is the answer? 1001011. 10311. That is this is 2 power 7, right? That means minus 128, 16 plus 7, 23. If you get like answer is minus 105. Okay, this is 2's complement. Observe here, when like in DL, you know already, if the most segment bit is 1, it indicates that it is negative. If it is 0, it is positive, right? Yes. So generally, if you don't want to go for like this, you have to convert into 1's complement and you have to add all these things. Okay, so you will get minus 105 as the answer. If you go for that same process, 663. After type conversion, you need to get the answer as yes, right? So like this, see here what happened. Here, even though you have given the input as 663, you are getting the output as minus 105, meaning that you are losing some data or not. So that is the reason I am saying that while performing explicit typecasting, compiler won't involve. If compiler involve, what will happen? Loss of data. Loss of data means programmer may have having some problem. So that is the reason compiler won't perform explicit typecasting. Human has to involve and he has to perform typecasting. Okay, so like for example, let me take something like double d equal to something like 535 point some value 654. If I want to convert int some k equal to, I want to convert into int of t. You will get the answer as 535 because 535 able to can fit in here. Okay, fine. Similarly, if you are going to convert into same byte format, byte b equal to byte of d, you will get the answer for 535. What is the answer? Is 23. So you will get here 23 is the answer. Okay, so this is all about typecasting. Okay, generally typecasting can be two types: implicit typecasting, explicit typecasting. Explicit typecasting has to involved by the human programmer. Implicit typecasting is going to done by compiler, as there is no loss of data. And this process we can call it as widening or upcasting. Explicit typecasting we call it as narrowing or downcasting. Okay, na? Yes, this is all about today's class. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.